Hey everybody, Michael the Librarian of Magic here, finding and cataloging the magical and pointing you to it. I'm here with my wife Erin today, and this is October the 19th, and we have another drawing of a Disney villain for you for the month of October. The same disclaimers about the drawings as always apply, and you can find links to my other videos at the end of this one. So I'm going to jump straight into the drawing, and then we're going to talk about it. Today's drawing is the Hatbox Ghost from the Haunted Mansion ride at Disneyland. So it's kind of a Disney villain. I mean, he's definitely been scaring Disney fans, I would say. The Hatbox Ghost is pretty interesting. The design is really cool. It's scary looking, which I like. The Hatbox Ghost first premiered when the Haunted Mansion was built in 1969 at Disneyland. And was supposed to be in the section where there's a bride in the ride, if you've ever been on it. And the Hatbox Ghost is the groom of the bride. And the idea behind the effect is that the Hatbox Ghost's head would disappear off of his shoulders and then appear inside of a hatbox that he's carrying in time to the beat of the bride's heart. They debuted it in like early on when they were building the ride, and the effect didn't really work right because it was supposed to be based on lighting and like mirror trickery, and the section of the ride where the Hatbox Ghost is too close to the rider carts, the doom buggies that they call them. So the effect wasn't working right. It wasn't effective. So they removed him from the ride completely. And not very many guests got to see him at all. And he was just sort of rumored to exist. And nobody, like, people were like, yeah, there was a Hatbox Ghost, and he was like this cool looking thing. And then it just became this, like, legend. It became this, like, mysterious...
The lore of the Hatbox Ghost.
Exactly. It became this legendary thing, and for, like, 45 years... it went, of people being like, yeah, it existed, and then they moved the animatronics over to the Hall of Presidents or whatever, and all these, like, rumors happened, and then in 2014, when they did so every year, if you don't know, they do a holiday makeover for the Haunted Mansion. They remake it into, like, a
Nightmare Before Christmas
thing.
Okay.
So in 2014, when they were taking down the holiday layover, they left one area that was still like under construction. And a bunch of people started speculating right away, like, oh, there's gonna be the Hatbox Ghost or whatever, and they weren't saying anything about it. And then the following year in 2015 was the 60th anniversary of Disneyland, and they unveiled that they were putting the Hatbox Ghost
I didn't know that.
back in the ride. So they did, and now they built a brand new animatronic. They didn't repurpose the old one that who knows if they put it in the Hall of Presidents or whatever.
Where it's buried.
Yeah, but they built a brand new animatronic, and one where the effect actually works. So since 2015,
there's a functional Hatbox
Ghost. The Hatbox Ghost has been scaring guests of the Haunted Mansion ever since. So that's kind of the short story of the Hatbox Ghost. They don't have one at the Haunted Mansion ride in Walt Disney World in Orlando. His presence is still there. There's an area in their mansion where there's like a hall of family portraits.
Oh,
and you can see the Hatbox Ghost.
Like the lady that's in the picture and that kind of thing. Okay.
And you can see the Hatbox Ghost's face in the line of family portraits. They also apparently started doing a thing in this year in 2019 where they do like one of those Disney Photo Pass photo op things where they take a picture of you while you're riding the ride. And one of the option things they have is like while you're in the buggy, they take a picture of you, and then the Hatbox Ghost is like hovering over your buggy. Wow. So he kind of has a presence in the Walt Disney World attraction, but at Disneyland, there's a full-on animatronic, the way it was supposed to be when they opened it.
Is the bride there?
And the bride's always been there. Okay. They never took that out. But
but the groom was missing for years.
And so
maybe in the Hall of Presidents.
Yep, and he was like legendary. And then they started bringing him back promotionally here and there, like they made pins and promotional materials in the 2000s, like 2000 5, 6, 7,
Right,
8.
because it was a thing, but...
And people started talking about it at, like, the D23 expos, like, the Disney fan club members and stuff. And
fantastic.
I read somewhere that somebody had built, like, a life-size replica of the Hatbox Ghost from, like, legendary knowledge.
From the oral history.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Right, and then was auctioned off for, like, $9,500 bucks. I mean, Disney fans get hardcore with stuff. But anyway, like, it was this thing of lore until they brought it back and they rebuilt it.
That's fantastic.
The voice effects of the Hatbox Ghost are done by Corey Burton, who's the same guy who does the the voice of the ghost host at the Haunted Mansion. The guy that's like, there's 999
There's always room for one more.
There's always room for one more. That guy.
Yeah.
That's Corey Burton. Hey everybody, me interrupting me here. Just a quick correction on what I just said. What I meant to say is that Paul Frees, who legendarily did the original voice of the ghost host in the Haunted Mansion ride, and still does on the Haunted Mansion ride track, is cleverly and well impersonated by Corey Burton as the new Hatbox Ghost, and in any new promotional materials for the Haunted Mansion where it needs to sound like Paul Frees, the original ghost host, Corey Burton is the guy who does the voice of the 999 spooks. That's what I meant to say. So, little correction for you. Carry on. Back to you, me.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, isn't that great? So, yeah, they figured out how to make it happen. Disney magic. So he's kind of spooky.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
I love that.
Ghost.
And it turned out so good.
Yeah, isn't it? I thought it turned out pretty good.
That's
I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's one of those, like, negative... Well, the only thing that sometimes is tough when I do these ones that are based on negative space, what I mean by that is, like, when you're really trying to draw something where you're looking at the white instead of the
what's
black.
in between, yeah.
So that means you have to draw a lot more of the black to make the white come through. And one of the hard things for me about doing that is I'm left-handed. So I end up dragging my hand through...
It becomes
the
gray.
thing. Yeah, and then it's just this... I have to erase all this pencil junk that I'm dragging across the page all day long. So I had to fight with this one for a little bit. But it came out pretty cool.
Wow, yeah. Even more impressive.
Pretty happy
then.
with it.
Wow.
Yeah. Another cool thing that I found out about the Hatbox Ghost is in 2010 at Comic-Con, they had announced that Guillermo del Toro is producing or trying to work on a concept for a Haunted Mansion movie.
I love him.
As sort of a rework or a remake of the other Haunted Mansion movies or something new.
Right.
And he wants to make it, in his words, legitimately scary, and that he wants the Hatbox Ghost to feature as a primary character.
Oh, wow.
Because he's a big fan. Guillermo del Toro has, like, look up if you've never seen...
He might have bought the one that somebody made.
If you've never seen stuff about his, like, he bought a whole second house to house his, like,
all of his crazy
collection of horror stuff and
there's like
everything.
A room that is like
he has like a
Haunted
Mansion room. It has the wallpaper and like all the stuff.
Pictures. Yeah, we were talking about. Yeah,
he's got all the stuff. It's awesome.
Man.
If you just look up stuff about his cool, like House of Curiosities, it's amazing. Anyway, he would be perfect for that if they did that. So
a true fan.
It's been like in development talks since 2010, and they haven't said much about it because he's made other movies and got busy with stuff. And Disney's obviously doing tons of other stuff.
Disney has so many open slots.
Yeah, but you know they could come back around to it. You never know, and if they do, that'd be really cool.
Wow, that'd be awesome.
So what do you think about Guillermo del Toro?
Oh man, well he's the reason I watch horror movies because I watch Crimson Peak. So yeah, I love him, and he's got some really amazing films. And just for me, like the Haunted Mansion, like childhood, like I was terrified,
right?
Especially because my uncle was selling it, so I was like, oh my gosh, they are leaving with us. Like it was so intense. So I can't I have the nostalgia for the ride, but I also can kind of see how you could make it really spooky, not just like the campy spooky. But either way, it'd be awesome, to be honest.
But neither of us have been back to the park since 2015.
I've never actually seen it. I guess you know those false memories that you think you saw something. I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen that, and then you say it hasn't been there, and I'm
neither of us have had the chance to see him in real life.
I don't actually have never seen him.
Yep.
But I love the concept, I guess, and thought I knew it.
So we'll have to go back and see him in real life.
Memories are funny that way, aren't they?
Yep.
It's fantastic.
Cool.
Awesome.
But I love the Haunted Mansion. It's my favorite attraction at Disney.
Yeah, we're gonna have to ride it multiple times just to get the full effect with it when we go. That's fantastic.
If we go at holiday time, then we won't be able to see.
Oh no, we're gonna have to not
Hattie.
go at holiday. have to like specifically be like not at a time when it's something else.
Not that I have anything against the Nightmare Before Christmas.
No, but I've never seen it, so I need to see this Hatbox Ghost.
That'd be cool, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah, so the Hatbox Ghost is kind of a villain? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he's pretty spooky looking. Like,
scary,
look at that face.
He scares...
I guess scary doesn't always mean a villain, but he's pretty scary looking.
He scares Disney fans.
I know. And I mean, maybe he's a well-intentioned ghost. We don't really know. We don't have the movie, so we don't know. We don't know the backstory about how villainous he is. Maybe he's like, you know, actually one of those, you know, tragic characters that's looking for, you know, some help from beyond.
If the ghosts of the Haunted Mansion are trying to get each guest to become the 1,000th ghost, don't you think they're all kind of villainous in a way? Because they're all they're technically like everything is trying to trap you.
Is it like Hotel California, kind of like, you know, you can't come, you know, can't leave?
No,
is that really their intention?
No, because at the end you are allowed to leave, but they tell you to hurry back.
But they really don't want you to leave, right? Is that or they want to come with you?
Yeah.
What is it? I'm like, what is he?
You have to watch out for the hitchhiking ghosts.
Right. So, but they're the only ones leaving, and everybody else wants us to stay.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So really,
they're like having a party.
I know, it's awesome. They're dancing, and that's my favorite part is the dancing.
That's cool, right?
Yeah, but I mean, now I really wonder what I actually know about this ride because
it's been a little while since I've been to Disneyland.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I haven't even before they brought the Hatbox Ghost back, it's been a while since I was able to ride it.
I'd love to see comments about what people remember. Like, did you think you'd seen it and you had it? Like, what's your experience with this ghost?
Were you one of the people that was like a hardcore fan that was like, I know the legends of the Hatbox Ghost?
Did you bid on the Hatbox Ghost?
Or do you own the $9,500?
Or did you work at Disney and you know where they hide it in the Hall of Presidents? There are so many questions. So.
And they give like
answer questions.
They give backstage tours of the Haunted Mansion too. So I'm sure there are people out there who've taken those tours that like were told, you know, this is how this used to be here or whatever. This is how this works. So to fuel the legends.
Tell us. We want to know.
Yeah, let us know what are your favorite.
Or just make up a crazy story about these Hatbox ghosts and if he's good or bad. I think that's a lovely question.
Is he a villain? Do you think, or no? Or is anybody in the Haunted Mansion a villain?
Is it malicious? So I don't know.
Is it villainous?
Is it?
Maybe. I think so. He looks creepy to me.
Yeah, I mean, he does look pretty terrifying. But, I mean...
He looks more terrifying than King Candy.
But
King Candy's probably more of a psychopath.
Yeah, he's more horrible, maybe.
I
mean, we don't really know. That's... The end of the day, we don't really know. So, we need to learn more about this Hatbox.
He's like the Headless Horseman, right? He's like...
I know, but then he's not, like, throwing it at random, funny-looking school teachers. So, it's kind of hard to...
In some ways, it would be cooler. Like, in some ways, he's cooler than the Headless Horseman. Because, like, what if the Headless Horseman could, like, manifest his own head in a box? And then...
Or carried around like a lantern?
But I guess then he wouldn't be so disgruntled if he had his own head. Because he's, like, searching for his own head. Because, like, what are the motivations of these, you know, things that are missing their heads? I think they just made it to look
Which
cool.
is fascinating because of, like, the nearly headless Nick, you know, like, isn't quite headless,
Potter?
you know, which is a really funny take on.
He can't participate in the headless thing.
Yeah,
that's true from Harry Potter.
So there must be, I mean, I don't know, traumatic head injuries leading to loss.
I think that's kind of
loss of head.
I think that's kind of the cool thing about the Haunted Mansion is every time you ride it, you're imagining like, who are these characters? Because it seems like they have backstories. It seems like there's a they've built it so well. It seems like there's a background or a life to it.
Oh yeah, everybody has a story.
They leave it up to you to
we just don't know what it is.
Decide that. That's pretty fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh my goodness, this made me so happy.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me join you
You're
this
welcome.
time. Because of all the ones, I'm so glad. Like, I didn't know this information, so when I was hearing it, I was genuinely surprised because I didn't know this. So
about the Hatbox Ghost. He's
you
pretty
should
cool,
hide
right?
these things for me sometimes.
I did hide it. I did hide it.
I know.
You just learned this just now.
I know. That's what just happened.
Fresh reaction to new information.
I have very extreme reactions. That's kind of how it goes. Yeah. So jump scares everything. So
let us know what is your favorite. Do you have memories of the Haunted Mansion? What are your favorite characters from the Haunted Mansion? You like the hitchhiking ghost or Madame Leota? Maybe I know you like the ballerina on the tightrope.
Yeah, I think that's I don't know.
The ballroom dancers. I like the caretaker with the little dog that's out in front. Anyway, and of course the music in there, Grim Grinning Ghost, the great Thurl Ravenscroft. If you don't know about him, look him up. He's the voice of Shere Khan and He sings in The
really?
Grinch. He's the voice of Tony the
And that's
Tiger.
and he did the song.
He was in the song Grim Grinning Ghost. He's the guy that's like, Grim Grinning Ghost, come out to socialize.
Well, he's got the great voice.
Yeah,
so.
he's that deep.
Oh my
"You're
gosh,
a mean
there's so much we
one,
can
Mr.
learn about.
Grinch."
It's already been 15 minutes of learning of things. This is, well, 14 and a half. This is amazing. Now you can't cut the video because I told you how long this video is, but all right.
Okay.
There you go.
We'll leave it.
We'll leave it as it is. Okay.
All right. Well, anyway, let us know about your ideas of the Haunted Mansion. Hopefully you enjoyed this drawing. Maybe it gave you memories of Disneyland of your own, or now maybe you want to go to Disneyland and see the Hatbox Ghost. We're going to probably go as soon as we can because we have been there when we were kids, but we never got a chance
Not
to
2015.
see him live since 2015.
Yeah.
We are going to go to Disney in Orlando, so we'll probably get to see like his portrait. We're going to go to that before we get back to California. But anyway, let us know if you have good memories of that. Thanks as always for watching these. I'll be back tomorrow with another one, and I appreciate your views. Bye.